I create these? I gave you 3 experiences now, very distinct from each other, but they can all be built with the same method. I go into Nearpod, and when I log in, I create a lesson. There are a few ways to do this, but we're going to do it the most simple way. Create a lesson. Now, you don't have to create a full lesson. This is a really important piece of information to have about Nearpod. You can create an activity and start your class every day with a Nearpod activity, moving into the lesson you know has worked in the past. There's no need for students to be on the screen the entire time. Mix and match. So we go in, we create a lesson, and then we choose to add content and activities. And the activity, scroll down to activities, the activity will be a collaborate board. That's what we'll click. Now, when we click on the collaborate board, we'll get an image that looks like this. And you'll be able to easily add images, audio, PDFs, videos, recording audio in the spot. And here you'll be able to choose grid view or column view, student options, different media types. You can control these. I'll get into that in a second. And of course, you write the topic and the description. That's it. It's so easy to bring in this reference material, and this is totally new. If you're someone who's used our open-ended questions, you know how easy it is to bring in your reference material. Now, when we started, I told you a little bit about the ability to respond to each other. That is totally new. We now have the ability to write comments on our posts. Students can comment on each other's posts in a threaded way that keeps it organized and gets them talking to each other. Now, here are some of the other differences. We have the columns button. That columns button allows you to add as many as you want. And when students post, they'll have to choose which column to post to. There's no number limit on posts, so you can have kids post things to multiple columns. And the student options have also changed. Now students are able to see each other's names. They can also edit their responses. You're able to approve student posts all at once. And we can also make it so we approve student comments. We can also, if we want to, turn comments off if we don't want kids responding to each other. And then finally, the media types, like I said, have changed. In that first slide you saw, the first activity you saw, images, videos, audio recordings, and GIFs are all things we can include now. But as the teacher, you also have the options to turn those things off. You don't have to allow kids to add videos every time. You get to choose when you create your Collaborate board. So now it's your turn. I am going to challenge you to review some more examples of these, and I'll go through that in a second. Quick start or create a lesson to build a Collaborate board. Try adding that reference material, columns, or changing the settings. And if you can, share your work with us somehow on social media. Now I am going to demonstrate for you how easy it is to create one of these Collaborate boards. Here I am in my lesson library. I click Create Lesson. Now I add content and activities. This is content. I can scroll down or click activities and choose the Collaborate board. Here is where I'll add the image, audio recorder, PDF, video, audio, web content. Anything can be added in here. I have my topic. Maybe I'll write my description or question or instructions there. Now here I can choose to add columns. And in my student options, if I want students to see their names, great, done. Approve student posts, no. Media types, if I want my students to only respond with an audio recording, that could be interesting. That's how we're going to do it. Maybe if I'm practicing pronunciation, maybe it's a foreign language class. And check out how easy it is to add my own audio recording. This is my own audio recording. And there it is. There's also an easy way to add audio. I can drag, or any of the other files can either be brought in from your computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, or OneDrive, or drag and drop. And then I click Save. And look, I could go on and create a full lesson, or I could leave it here, save and exit, and start my day with a Collaborate board. It's as simple as that. Now it's ready to go in live participation or student pace mode when I click one of these and get the link or unique code for students to join. It's that simple. Now, if you're curious, if you're not quite ready to do that and need some other ideas, here are a few. In math class, we can put in any image we want. And in fact, I got this image from a math program. You might have math curriculum that you need to follow. Well, don't be afraid to take a screenshot of it and put one of those really great activities into the Collaborate board to start the week, not even every day, to start the week. So here, examine the image, which one doesn't belong, and explain your reasoning. I ask students to write or record their response, but notice the GIF button and the movie button are not here. Students do not have that option. I've controlled that. In this one, I link to an interactive video that students will go through to learn about persuasive techniques. Then I ask them to use images, videos, and GIFs, to use them all, but not video, not recordings, not audio recordings. I haven't included that, to give examples of each. So here I'm demonstrating for you how I can beautifully embed an interactive Nearpod video. It just takes you to an interactive video that is on Student Paste. I use the link, added as web content, and I'm using the columns to sort out student understanding. Notice here when kids post, if they wanted to post to Pathos, they click that and it'll go to those different columns. This is a fun one because it does include an audio recording. Go ahead and listen. So what does it remind you of? Where do you think it's from? This is a completely different use of the Collaborate board. We're just starting to get a taste of sound, thinking about something. Of course, you might have this as an old CD and some old tapes even in your district. Play those. You don't have to include the audio recording, and then students can respond to the Collaborate board and see each other's responses. In this one, I asked students to add images and GIFs to express their thinking. Some people might include a map of Spain. Here's one for the little ones that is based on healthy and unhealthy foods. It just asks kids to basically create a T-sort, adding words and media. I've allowed all sorts of media because we know the little ones who are emerging readers and writers might need some of that accessibility. And this is just a simple brainstorm. In this one, this is really interesting. I'm asking kids to really use their listening skills and write rhymes. So we're mixing modalities. Listen to something and then produce something, either a recording, a video of yourself, or writing out the words. So let's listen.
Cat.
So students would have to respond then, of course. Bat. Hat. And I might get these different recordings. I might get recordings, I might get written work. It's all up to what the teacher wants. So that is another unique way. And there are, of course, applications for this. If you wanted to do a closed passage, if you want to just have do a dictation for an old school dictation for your L's, it's totally up to you. Yeah, I know a lot of people do those old school dictations, and there is something to be said for practicing that. As a language learner myself, it's very hard to, to write down and remember a long sentence. So give it a shot. And of course, the kids won't necessarily have to see each other's work first. You can do the approve piece and make those comments approve only. So here it is. That. How cool is that? Now, this next activity can be applied to all grade levels, maybe not higher ed as much. I would challenge you to do this in the teacher's room before a meeting. We're going to use a mood meter. I've incorporated a mood meter here to express how you're currently feeling. And I've encouraged people to use a word or a GIF or an image that shows it. I might remove the video if I were to do this again. But of course, anyone can access that mood meter as reference material, and then write accordingly. Please steal this activity and try it at the beginning of the school day, in any classroom where you have a free moment, in advisory or crew, whatever you might call it. There's a space for this, and the kids will love it, especially when you allow them to express themselves with images and GIFs. So this is one I included for my older grades. It is a video about reliable sources. And this applies to many of our subject areas, especially social studies and especially language arts, but also science, right? Even math, when we're getting home, when kids are going home to get help, they're sifting through the internet. This is applicable to all of our students. So it links to an interactive video that's actually like before a Nearpod lesson. So as a teacher, I'll be receiving this data and these multiple choice and open-ended questions. And then here's the space for students to interact with each other and learn from each other, where they'll sort out examples of reliable and unreliable sources. They'll add to it. And I would recommend commenting, then respond to your post and two others with a reason why the source is either reliable or unreliable. So students can post and then think about it and respond to their own posts. We can have kids include multiple things. We can say you need to write and include an image. There are so many options. Really, the sky's the limit. It's all about your own creativity. So I want you to think about that. Think about what you've learned. Think about how you might apply this yourself. I would love to hear from you on social media. Tell me your ideas for the Collaborate board. And if you do something really interesting, please share it with the Nearpod community.